Hello everyone, welcome back to Yes Guy Gaming, and we're here. We've just finished watching through Season 1 of the Haikyuu Volleyball anime show, and I'm kind of reeling, I'm kind of excited, I got way into it, so I wanted to just take a look back at the season and review and talk about the season as it was, how the show how well did it do in terms of the plot, the volleyball accuracy, and all sort of aspects of the show, and just give my thoughts and kind of review the season. My name is Garrett. I'm a former professional beach volleyball player, indoor volleyball player, and professional volleyball coach. So trying to bring all that perspective to the season as well as enjoy the show. And I flip between the sub version and the dub version, and just I got a full sense for this show, definitely from you guys as well in the comments. So as always, if you disagree with anything I say, hit me up in the comments below, let me know your thoughts. You all certainly haven't shied away from doing that so far, so definitely don't stop now. When I look back at Season 1, it seems like there were three distinct kind of periods, three distinct acts in the season, each taking about, it varied, maybe 9 or 10 episodes for the first act, then kind of the middle act, and then the final 5 or 6 episodes of the final act. So the first one where they're kind of introducing him to all the characters, introducing him to the team, to the school, just getting him on the team, kind of solving some of those issues, establishing the characters. The middle part where they've actually established the team, they're kind of training, they're learning each other, they're developing the team, they're finding a coach, that sort of thing, where they have the training montage for the middle part of the season. And then the final part of the season where they head to the tournament and actually compete in meaningful matches with the other team. That's kind of broken up into the last 6 or 7 episodes where they actually get in some hard competition. I should throw out a disclaimer as well. There's just some hard spoilers for the show, so if you don't want to get the show spoiled, click away now. So overall, I think I really enjoyed Season 1. I had a great time with the show. I know some of you in the comments were kind of worried that maybe I wasn't enjoying the show because I was poking some fun at it and throwing a few critiques out there for the show, but I thought overall it was really well done. I think probably my least favorite part of the entire season was the first kind of several episodes. Episodes 1 and 2 really draw you in. They kind of get you behind Hinata's character. But then as it kind of goes on and you're meeting all the other characters, it kind of drags on a little bit. They don't play any matches. Hinata's struggling even to get into the volleyball. And as you know, we're here for the volleyball. But the season definitely picks up when you get the team together. They start playing in matches and they start getting into those practice matches, dealing with stuff with the team, the coach, positions, and getting into all that stuff as it builds towards the tournament in the later part of the season. I think all that really got me going, and I think if they cut down the first part of the season a bit and got to that stuff quicker, it would get everybody, including me, really hyped and into really behind this team. The show does a really good job, I think, of laying out the plot in a pretty clear and concise way. They do take their time with certain things, and I think they could have improved how quickly they convey some information to us, but the key characters are well established, their motivations, their personality styles, any problems that they encounter throughout the season really make sense to their characters, and kind of having to overcome them and deal with them just really helps them grow and learn lessons as well. So I think the plot overall is really well done. I mean, the show, of course, is based on the manga of the same name, so they were able to pick and choose kind of the plot points that really made sense to make the anime show out of. And I think they did, for the most part, a really good job with that. I think definitely some high points in terms of plot are when the characters or team together kind of achieves a milestone together. So Hinata's first hit, Hinata and Kageyama's first kind of connection, when they recruit those new players to the team, Asahi and Nishinoya, when they come and make an impact immediately, when the team finally assembles, they get their jerseys, when they get their flag, when they get into a game and actually get a win, when they earn a few points playing in those practice matches. All those moments are kind of well executed and well done. I mean, they make sense in a volleyball sense because those are the high points for a volleyball player's season with their teammates. And so to do that in the show, I think it made sense for the plot as they spaced it out, and that's kind of the ups and downs of a volleyball season, but also it really made sense in terms of relating as a volleyball player. That's kind of what we go through every year as well, so I'm really happy with that. I still do believe, and I made a comment in a few of the episodes that I'd done throughout the series, that I think some of the plot points are not as clearly explained. I think they kind of gloss over a few things and go into real in-depth detail about other things that don't seem to be as important. For example, I think the teacher and the trainer, I can't even forget their names, Tanaka, and Mishimiya, I think. They're not really fully explained. They seem to have a minor role, but they kind of gloss over them and just kind of expect that you'll pick that up, which I think is fine. But then they go into some super details with other teams. So for example, when Hinata meets that setter kid from the other team, they kind of extend that and they have you get to know that guy, which it seems like they're setting up for some future thing, but in this season as a whole, it never pays off. You get to know this kid and the relationships with his team, and they just kind of move on. It doesn't actually impact their results in the tournament. So it kind of didn't make sense to me in the moment watching season 1 on its own without seeing anything else, why kind of they would spend more time on those things than maybe some of the characters we did see more of. I think the thing that I'm most impressed with Haikyuu is that it does the volleyball really, really well. Probably the best that I've ever seen in any television show, movie, series, media, you name it. I mean, it's clearly inspired by volleyball, clearly inspired and by the ups and downs that volleyball players go through in their seasons. Clearly this person or creator and have an inside look into what being a volleyball player in Japan is like. And that comes through in the show. I mean, the dramatic plot points relate to specific volleyball dramatic points that you would see in real life. The volleyball skills and challenges that they face and overcome are, for the vast majority of the points, exactly what you would teach or you would see in volleyball indoors. The coaching points, the timeouts, the things they say, the things each of the players deal with themselves, the whole team strategy, the team build, the dynamics. Everything is really well done and really closely resembles what you would see in real life, which I think as a volleyball player first and then a fan of Haikyuu, I really appreciate that and helps me relate so much more to what the characters are going through. Having said that, I do have a few critiques for the volleyball related stuff. There are a few moments in the show that they do some highly unrealistic things, and you know, when looking at it critically, you can see that they need to do this to create some drama, to create some uniqueness with the character's volleyball skills that kind of pushes the plot forward. You know, for example, Hinata needs to start in his first year. He's the main character, like he needs to do that, so he needs to have some sort of high level skill, incredible super speed and super jump to kind of make sense for him to start over some of these other veteran players on the team. I mean, so they have to do that to create some drama, but some of the moments that they could have done a little bit differently and still had the same plot effect. So for example, the Kageyama's super back set from well off the net, setting it back, shoot to Hinata who's at the net to pound. I mean, that's something that you don't even really see professional volleyball players do ever, especially on a back set. They might turn around and force a shoot from way off the net, facing where they're setting, but a back set like that is just something that you never really even see professional players try, let alone do and execute to the point that these two executed it in the show. So, you know, I get that they want to make you feel like Kageyama and Hinata are special with their connection, and I mean that comes through even without those mega crazy out of this world plays. But you know, so that kind of broke my suspension of disbelief a little bit when I see, whoa, what are they doing here? There's a few other moments like that, but for the most part they do a pretty good job with keeping it grounded in reality. The only other critique that I would have from a volleyball perspective is on a volleyball team, and maybe this is just my experience as opposed to what they would experience in Japan, but when you have an ace or your team's best attacker, you know, that player is the focus of your team's offense. They are your best attacker. They're going to get the vast majority of sets, and they're the one you're concerned about getting open and free and available to have good opportunities to score, given that they are your team's best attacker. In this show, and because they're the main characters, Hinata and Kageyama are kind of the focus point of the offense, which, I mean, I get for a plot point, but in terms of the volleyball, it doesn't really make a lot of sense that they would focus as much on a first year setter and a first year middle combination when there's so many other capable players out there. I think somebody even makes a point like, why are these two the focus of the offense and not some of these other players in the show? But I guess they're trying to push forward that, oh, they're that special, which I mean makes sense, but I think they could have had a little bit more first year struggle, you know, like Hinata and Kageyama, they're in their first year, they're not necessarily, they're special, but maybe they're not the best players. Right here, they you know, spoiler, they lose the final game on getting blocked on that crazy set. So it does kind of fit with the story and everything, but you know, they might have gone through a little bit more first year struggle. Maybe they have to set Asahi more, and then Hinata, when he's the decoy, actually frees him up, which he does at some point in the series, you know, in one of their games. So, I mean, it's a great show. I'm just maybe being a little nitpicky. Probably the most reception that I get to the reaction videos that I do for this series are when I talk about specific characters. As each character seems to have a group of people who really love and admire, and they're their favorite character, and they get way into them. And I think that's a reflection of how well this show kind of varies and makes interesting characters that kind of work together in such a way that helps further the plot and can really get you behind them all as a team and as individuals. I think Hinata as the main character can kind of reflect the audience's excitement about volleyball and kind of their just, you know, ambition and energy and, you know, excitement for the show. And in his high energy, his speed, he's special, he's not perfect, he doesn't really know things, so people can explain things to him, and they're explaining them to the audience, us as well, which I think works perfectly. I think Kageyama's character is deep and intense, and he goes through some character growth throughout the show, and the rest of the team and their opponents, I think, are done really well. They do a great job of differing the characters from each other, so nobody really feels too samey, and everybody has their own unique style and vibe, which is reflective of what you would get on a volleyball team. I mean, the libero being loud and totally in your face and energized is something you see a lot on volleyball teams. I mean, the best attacker being a little bit quiet and kind of reserved is also something you'd see. I mean, you'd see this variety of personalities on any volleyball team. So for that to show through in a television show, as well as fit and work in with the story, I think the writing team behind the show has done a really good job with that part. Well, so those are my thoughts and kind of review of Season 1. I look forward to getting on to Season 2. Hit me up in the comments below with your thoughts about Season 1, about your thoughts about my thoughts. Do you disagree with me? Do you agree with me? I think generally overall I would rate this Season 1 as a great season. I really enjoyed my time, and towards the end I looked forward getting to the next episode, so hopefully that continues on in Season 2 and 3 and beyond. And man, we got a lot of episodes ahead of us, so if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button to subscribe to Yes Guy Gaming. We're doing, you know, reaction videos to every Haikyuu volleyball video, so we're going to keep that going. We also do other volleyball video game related things on the channel, so check that out if you're interested. Thanks for watching and welcome to the community. Anyway, that'll do it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we hope to see you next time on Yes Guy Gaming.